resilience is nothing but one concern which we have at present, especially in stressed cities like Bangalore. And there are multiple stressors. So climate is just one stressor which is affecting the system. So there is other stressors like population growth, infrastructure issues and so forth, which also needs to be taken into account. And
creating a good city resilience plan is a big challenge. It's not going to be that easy because you need, I think, the involvement coordination of different stakeholders. You need government agencies on the one hand, the municipality, the water board, the electricity board, the transport corporations. You need the involvement of the community, the people. Even big private sector people may need to be involved, I would say. But at the same time, we need to pay attention to different sectoral issues, whether it is water, or sewage, and all that.
You go and talk to the revenue department can say this land is getting encroached, and he would probably go behind, oh, I don't think this is, the files are missing or one of the other issue, but he doesn't see that there's a lake right in front of his eyes that's getting encroached. The effect on hydrology and the ecosystems in which we live in, we can see it in our eyes, but we are not able to do anything about it. That has to change.
Climate change and managing urbanization are becoming very challenging for the policymakers.
The amount of consumption of ACs in India itself, and if you see the growing trend, this is going to really be a huge problem in the coming days. You know, water, yes, of course, all the necessity commodities are there, but cooling is actually going to take away a lot of the energy that is probably required for perhaps, you know, supplying energy for rural areas.
Rapid urbanization and poorly planned growth can concentrate people and assets in potentially high-risk locations.
But I think urbanization per se is not really the problem. Urbanization will keep occurring. Migration, industrialization will lead to the process of urbanization. We should welcome it. In fact, in India, the percentage of urbanization is pretty low. It is just 31–32% compared to developed countries, which is about 70–80%, 90%. But the problem is the next one: unplanned urbanization.
Actually, in our country, the funding is not a problem, people are not a problem, but management is a problem. And all that put together, why our cities don't work? Why something just we cannot deliver stuff which is required and so much demand from the citizens? Why it cannot meet our demands?
For the government to take a decision, what people like you and me sit here and talk, it actually does not matter. Unless otherwise, it is going to translate into vote or translate into support to the Chief Minister. And the CM is actually worried about the MLAs. The MLA is worried about people who vote. So the whole cycle goes like that. So the decision making seems to be poor.
On the government front, I would say is that, especially when it comes to dealing with data, government does lots of places the capacity doesn't exist as to how to use it best or how to push it out and share it best, right? So we can keep pointing fingers, or you can show them the way. Right?
In India, because of the huge gap between the people who are aware and who are not aware, it is very easy for somebody to create a rumor, and people are worried. That fear is always there. Whereas if I am in a country where systems are better, courts are better, I get justice within very fast. The environment, the ecosystem is better, then I'll be ready to take more risk. The ecosystem in India is quite bad. Already there are so many divisions. If something happens, they will try to identify with some group and say that all other group they'll go against you actually. So in India, if you sleep, it's very difficult to get up actually. That's why people don't take risk. In a democracy, always majority, whatever the majority voice will matter. So the government is forced to be a mediocre in a democracy. So if you find that the government is not taking bright decisions, don't blame anybody. Democracy is to be like that only.
The law can be that is utilized by any person, challenged. It can be challenged against the government also, but you cannot challenge the policy. In parliament, multiple parties, many persons will be having the voice. In making the policy, it is the prerogative of the government only. Even the people cannot also easily interfere into that, unless otherwise they are demonstrating in a mass way.
The elected person has the power to make a change in the law or the system, whereas a normal citizen doesn't have the power. He has only the power to advise within the framework. So there is no conflict between an elected person and an active citizen. But unfortunately, most of the time elected persons are afraid of the active citizens, thinking that they are trying to encroach in the space. But what is actually happening is, I'm sure Professor will agree with me, the elected leaders are actually entering into the space of executive and the normal citizenship than only making laws. So if the people can assert their rights and tell the lawmakers, your job is to make law, and ourselves and the executives will sit together and will assist you in taking decisions if you delegate the power downwards.
According to me, there are two kinds of resiliences. One resilience is inevitable. When we have passed through a catastrophe, we bounce back into normalcy because we have no choice. That is the resilience of a Mumbaiker or a Bangalorean when confronted with some calamity because he has to go on with his daily life. Next day he gets up and goes for his work. But the other kind of resilience is a proactive resilience where you get up the next day with the determination that what caused that calamity, we will take corrective steps. We'll start taking corrective steps and see that it does not recur. That is the kind of proactive resilience that is required from the community, and that kind of a proactive resilience from the urban community in Bangalore will definitely lead to a viable solution for both the water supply and sanitation. These two are interlinked.
Unless we push the government and ask them, we are not going to get anything. So through the trust, we moved the papers. For the past 1.5 years, they were able to go to the government and produce their documents. So they're ready to declare as a refuge.
One of my student at B-Clip actually found a well that was unused for over 50 years in Manivada and in the medium layout area. So they just did a little bit of cleaning up with less than a day's effort. They were able to see that clear water is coming out of that open well. There are so many open wells, we just have to revive it and make it part of our water supply system.
The wonderful thing about Bangalore is people doing things without the government and then the government coming in and saying, hey, I want to work with you, right? Citizen report card is a wonderful example of that. Same with, say, the Bangalore traffic information system and the webcams that were put up traffic signals. Right?
Anything in a democracy has to be politicized to succeed. If you don't politicize it, it will not succeed. How to do it is very, very simple. You need numbers. The political leadership is only bothered about the numbers. If you have the most brilliant idea, if you don't have the people to support it, you are not able to convince the people, you can't take it forward. And time and again I have seen only the numbers make the people to sit up and observe. If you say something and 1,000 people say something, there's a huge difference. 1,000 people gather at a place, you can demand the attention of the minister or CM directly. Otherwise, one person, common man, going and reaching is very difficult. That's the way the democracy works actually. So you have to, if you want to sell it politically, get the numbers, convince your people.
What is required is a determination on the part of the government, and if that is lacking, an effort on the part of the community to force the government to realize these things and implement these schemes.
Each officer can have a small group of citizens to advise him. He can put whatever he does in the social media and an open forum. The concerned person who will be affected by that can always give the feedback. So I don't say that you should listen to them and do the work. No, not like that. Hear them and give an explanation and take a decision.
Time lag between complaint to solution. I think one of the finest ways whereby we overcome is to do two things. Number one, to develop a system which would have an information base on everything concerning natural resources. The rights, entitlements, the claims, the titles, everything needed to be put on record in clear, unambiguous terms, and for which technology should be of very great help. And once that is there, that information is there, taking decisions should not take long.
Have a publicly accessible database for transparent governance-informed decisions. We've all talked about illegal encroachment, land use planning that is done without knowing where the lake beds are. Have a publicly available database and build the capacity in municipal bodies to actually undertake ecologically based zoning and coding.
Extracting data from people around is impossible task. So if we have to make a place where all the data available, where we can take sources and discuss with the people. If you go to BDO, we talk to them with data, they agree. So we did that. So we were able to get solve problem. That too, it took a lot of time. So that is the important thing an organization can do so that citizens can do it.
And decision making is essentially dependent on the kind of information or the quality of information and the ability to retrieve that information and use it. And that's where exactly you needed to build your capacity.
There has to be a comprehensive, integrated water management policy in place in which the community becomes a part. Merely the government enunciating the policy and trying to implement it will not solve this problem. The community has to own this plan and implement it.
A simple message for consumers and all of us who continue to use ACs is that if you actually increase the temperature, operational temperature of your ACs by even 2 degrees, your thermal comfort will not really be sacrificed. In fact, in many places it's so severely cold, which is not necessary. It's 16 degrees and 18 degrees, which is really not necessary. You can actually up that by 2 and you will actually be contributing to a reduction of individual carbon footprint.
Voiceless in urban planning. For example, migrants or peri-urban actors are not involved in urban planning, so don't just restrict to urban actors.
Ask for a risk absorption act where government officers have a flexibility to try something new, delegate, and if anything wrong comes in that, you should be able to absorb it. Have an overall panel having public in that, let the panel discuss instead of sending to the court and sending to the gallows.
The number of people who would know how to develop and use an API, for example, which is key to making a simple app, right, or doing anything. So if you can just design it, I think Bangalore at least has a good history of if good things get made that are easy to adapt, we do have a government which is capable of saying, hey, I want to be a part of this. And the key is to do something good and make it open.
A lot of studies, a lot of research goes on. But ultimately, it has to be adopted by the government. So that's till today. We talk about sustainable development. There's no sustainable development report anywhere. No states. We have human development reports, economic development, any number of reports.
Working with the governance system simply implies that you work within the system with a full understanding of capabilities, spans of control, and degrees of risk.
The only way to improve the quality of decisions in a government, in a democratic government, is by the what I call it a direct participation of the public.